Hello, everybody. This is Jaime Martinez, Circuit Administrator for TCGC, and I'm with Jessica Torres, President of TCGC. Welcome, Jessica. Good to see you again. How's everything going?
It's going. It's exciting, but I just tell everyone we went from being in a pandemic and not being able to see the light to I don't know when it became February.
Right.
So
I
it's
know.
exciting, but time is going by fast.
Yeah. January went by, and February is already almost, it's going to be over before we know it, and then it's the season's starting. How are you doing with your guards? How are you approaching? You're doing in-person shows?
Yes, we
So
are doing
what have you been doing so far?
we've been putting together a show. So my goal and one of the biggest things I reflected upon was just how are we going to handle everything, still compete, thinking about the future, because as guard people, we always have a bunch of tabs open in our minds, is how I describe it. So honestly, I don't know if I'm in the minority, but my goal was to just do what we know. And when we go into a season, I'm never really thinking about a placement or this. Of course, we want to be competitive, we want to do well, but I always try to think about what story are we going to tell, where are we headed. And it was very important to me that if we were able to do in person, that we do it just so the kids could have a sense of normal. Even though I know we hate that word this year, there isn't a normal, but there's so much change from online classes to fall for if you're a senior not having homecoming and so many things. So my goal was we're still going to have our typical rehearsal schedule, still have our staff, still do the things we do. So that's what we've done. Of course, our pacing is a little bit different, and we're not worried about making it past area to state and those kind of things. And a big goal was just to love color guard. That sounds weird, we do all the time, but this was really a good thing for me as a director to be like, this is a time that we're not stressed to go out and like try to be number one or number anything. It's a time to just make the kids love it, train them. And at my school, we do private lessons, so we already really focus on the individual. And so I just kind of feel relieved. I'm grateful that we're going to have opportunities, but I'm just, whatever's going to happen, we're just having a good time doing it together.
Have you changed any of your design process or anything from a competitive standpoint, or is it just pretty much been the same process?
It's been the same process, and I kind of feel the same way about TCGC, that I still want to honor those commitments, and especially with so many of our activity, the designers and the instructors, and I know everyone, it's taken a hit. Not every school is able to go and compete and hire and do those things, but if we were able to, I wanted to do that. I think where I made the change was looking at flag and costuming, if I
Mm-hmm.
could save money or maybe do something that wasn't as extravagant. So we're still getting a uniform, still doing those things, but I really tried to evaluate those choices. So we did less clinicians, but still bring in a drill writer, still collaborating, still have tech staff. It was important for me to still provide those opportunities.
Awesome. And I would just encourage everybody to watch the other videos that we've done. Kim and I talked last time about some of the things as far as the season goes. So if you have questions, look at that video, and there'll be another video more specific to the season coming in after symposium. But we've had some great education videos that have come out. I'm already feeling the pressure from Ryan and Herbert, who did great videos, lots of cool slides and things, and it's just me and you talking. So there's not going to be any special effects or anything.
No big.
Um, and so if you haven't seen those education videos that have come out, you should go back and look and subscribe to our YouTube channel, and because more videos are going to be coming out as we head into the season. So one thing I want to do is recap kind of what happened last month. And we just finished our first ever virtual solo and ensemble events. And I can say I kind of worked as the virtual tabulator for the event, working with our judges, Jackie Gilly and Kendall Lejeune, that did an absolutely great job giving commentary and rating and rating all the performances. And then flow marching seemed like it was seamless. And you had some kids that performed in those and submitted videos. How did that go?
It went great. I'm going to tell the truth, and I don't know if this will open a can of worms, but normally I am not a solo and ensemble, like, go into it person. I know there's a lot of schools that usually host them and they can be a great thing, but it seems like the timing is never right for us because either I audition later and it conflicts, or we get caught up in things. So whenever we had the timeline this year, I was like, you know what? This is once again about the kids, making them love it. I was like, y'all pick a song, you do this. So it was really exciting at first, but then once again, it's February.
Right.
So when it got to be to the deadlines, it was like, okay, we got to get this done. So I know we've talked about wanting to do it again as TCGC, and then seeing into the future when our schedules are back to normal, we'll take a look at those deadlines. But I mean, it was fun. You know, we did before Christmas, we learned our Winter Guard show, and then I just kind of put a pause and I said, okay, before we get heavy into choreography in the Winter Guard season, like, this is your time. And I really put the ball in their court. You know, I don't know how everybody else's approach was, but I said, if you're going to do this, this is on you, because Miss Torres does a lot. So they were awesome about coming up with songs. And that's just another way to connect with them, figure out what their style is. They go and look at YouTube or everything on Instagram, and they would come to me and say, I saw someone do this flag trick, teach me now. And they took it really seriously. So it
That's
was fun.
awesome.
And of course, thanks to our judges and Flow Marching. I know as a director, I get nervous about new things or new show sites, and it was a very user friendly. So I
Yeah.
appreciated that. I could get everything turned in, and then we did really well. And what I also love about it was having Flow Marching. I've also used it as a teaching tool. So I taught my kids about the sheets that they were judged on, and now every time the videos are posted, we watch them, and then they get to practice rating, and they get to see kind of through the eyes of how everyone else sees it.
Right.
So
That's
it was a very great experience, and I would do it again. I'm a fan. I'm sorry to everyone that I didn't believe before. I'm a fan of solo and ensemble now.
as someone who has hosted solo and ensemble. One, it was great to see the performances, and you can tell the kids, you know, the performers really got into it. Whether they choreographed it or they're a tech or instructor or somebody choreographed it for them. But it's always it's something that I think we've all missed from the season, not having really performances since last year. Just getting to see them perform and live in those moments and put themselves out there. I can't wait till we can do it live, and maybe we'll be able to do it live at some point. But the virtual setting opens up so many doors for so many people, and some of the groups did some really awesome things with lighting or camera movement, maybe not zooming in or anything, but just moving their cameras for space purposes. And it just became a really cool new thing that was happening. So I'm excited about to see where that's going to happen, where that's going to go forward. But yeah, so what's coming next is our big education symposium, and that is next Saturday, the 13th, February 13th. And Joey Powell and his committee have been working really hard on the education videos and newsletters, and then now the symposium kind of is going to kick off our season, basically. What has been happening? What's going on? What are we excited about there?
Well, pre-planning, you know, we were really thinking about what could we do to bring this to life in a virtual setting. So our goal with the pushback season, with the shorter season, was to provide weekly updates before symposium day. So maybe there's just clips here and there, little tidbits that directors could take. And what's nice about these videos is if you know you're working or you're busy and not available, you can view it and take it in at your own time. And I love that through all of this, there are resources and things being developed to help our activity. As far as the symposium, I'm really excited. I don't want to reveal any names just yet until the flyers come out, but Joey's put together a great panel. And I'm also super excited about how invested the judges are. I feel like they always do a great job bringing their best to us, but I know our judges coordinators are very invested in breaking down the sheets, because once again, this is a season of change with everything.
Right.
And so they really want to dive in so that you can ask them questions, they can explain. And I think at this point we're all just preparing however we're choosing to prepare, whether it's not competitive or it is competitive, or you're doing that song you've always wanted to do. Regardless, we're all going to go out there and get a rating, so it doesn't matter what your production is, but it's a chance for the students to perform. And then they will be getting feedback, so the judges just want to be clear on what those expectations should be in the ratings and in the feedback. And I just think it's cool, and I think I always try to think as a new director,
Mm-hmm.
like we talk about this whole year and first year teachers, and I think about those new directors. This is different. So I just think the more education we can do, the better. I feel like I'm always learning. I don't ever want to get comfortable, and I hope all directors feel that way, that they always want to take in new information. So I'm just excited. I'm excited how we can connect with each other, even though we're not able to maybe be together in person for a day. There's still a lot of great information coming our way.
Right. So we know that this is going to be a webinar format. And so people will be able to come, but we're also going to video it, and we'll be able to post those videos as we edit them. And I can say, I'm not going to give out the big names that Joey's brought in for color guard, but I know we're going to bring, like, our judges, like you said, Greg Lassier will be doing, talking about the sheets a little bit more in depth. He's already done training with the judges, but there is a difference between the virtual sheets that we're using this year for color guard and the normal sheets that we have had previously. And then Jackie Gilly and Michael Pinto are going to be talking about how judges are going to approach the season, which I think is going to be super fascinating to hear from them. And especially Jackie, because she did judge solo and ensemble. She's already seen and experienced that virtual setting. But I can say from the percussion side, Jason Harvey is also going to be working toward discussing the sheets, because percussion is also going to be going back to the 3-man panel, and he'll be discussing sheets. But for virtual, they're going to use the WGI virtual sheets. So there's some learning there to do, and he'll be talking about that. But he's also bringing on Kevin Shaw, and Kevin is a great, he's going to have a great presentation for us on everything percussion, audio, video, winds, like how this all kind of works together. He's great resource that we're going to give our percussion and wind instructors and directors. So super excited. It's going to be a whole day of education. Color guard in the morning, I think, starting sometime, what time is that? 10 o'clock right now is what it's slated for. And then percussion will be in the afternoon, sometime after 2 o'clock. So we'll have a lot going on, so people can come in and out, and then again watch the videos if you're not able to, or just go back and reference them. Super excited about that. Just look for more information as we get everything finalized. We'll be posting more things on social media, things like that. So before I get into reminders, was there anything else that you wanted to bring up? The board's meeting. The board is going to be meeting again in a couple of weeks. Everything's going well. Registration went well. So anything before I get a wrap up?
I think we covered a lot of it. We really are excited for Symposium once again to happen, and hope that people, if you can't come the day of, that you do take time to look at the information. And I'm just excited that it's getting close, and I'm so grateful to our show hosts and everybody. There's so many moving parts that makes this happen. And I know that if you're not in the inner workings, you just been kind of like, okay, we'll see if there's a season. So I'm just super grateful to every unit who signed up. And if you weren't able to join us this year, just know we're like, can't wait to move into next year as well and be bigger and better and welcome you back. So I just hope that everyone is having a good season, and no matter where you're at, what level, I just can't preach enough about how much our kids need us and need us at our best. So I'm just thankful to get this rolling and see how it all unfolds.
Right. Like I said, we're going to have another video talking a little bit more in depth about the season and some of the questions that have been coming out. But there has been a document that went out in email. So if you will read that and share that with your parents, share that with your administrators. We are working hard to make it a safe season for our spectators and for our performers and directors and staff and judges. So please look at that. That's on the website also on the front page. So a couple of reminders: the scholarship application has gone out. Awesome. The board has made some room in the budget, and everyone that said they were going to be a part of the season is a part of it. And so we're excited about, I know the board's excited about being able to offer the scholarship again, even in this time. So March 9th is the deadline for the scholarship application, and it's one scholarship application per unit. So if you have any questions, you can email Kim Boer, VP of color guard at texascolorguardcircuit.org. I won't say email Ryan Page because I know she said to email me all the time, but and then big reminders for Friday. This Friday is a big deadline day, and there has been an email that went out, but I just want to kind of remind everybody as you're watching, this Friday, your badge applications and names are due. And this has kind of been a little bit confusing. So Jessica, can you kind of walk us through why where we are right now with the badge compared to last year? And if you had an application and all that, what's the policy there?
Yes, I can. So last year, it was established that in order to have a badge, everybody would have to submit a form that basically is just safety first, where you are saying, representing your school, and your principal is saying, if you're a scholastic unit, that everyone that is getting a badge is background checked and safe to be around kids. It was promised that if nothing changed in your staff info when you're at the same school, that you would not have to redo your application. So those are safe. Before Jaime reset the system for the new season for 2021, we made sure all of those applications were uploaded and were safe. And then I think there was just a few files that were corrupted, so you'll be notified of that, but we were able to save them all. So the only reason you should submit a new application is if you have a new staff member or you want someone different to have a badge. So maybe you have a new band director or you want it to be a parent, whatever it is. If it's a change, you'll submit. If nothing changed and it's going to be the same people, then you don't have to resubmit the form.
Right. And so it's very easy. And we sent out instructions on how to upload that document. And even when you go to that, that part of the website where you upload, you can see the document that has been uploaded. And so the names on that document need to match the badge information fields in the website. So if you're having questions about who's going to get a badge, those need to match. We took out a field in there that was confusing, so it should be much easier this year, and that will happen. We're going to get those badges, and if you're in person, you'll get them at the in-person. If you're virtual and we never see you, sadly, we'll get that mailed to you, and you can go to a show. If there's room to get into a show, you can go and watch. Also Friday is the end of show selection manually. So you can still, within 2 weeks of a show, 2 weeks before a show, just like normal, change your or request to be taken out of a show. Like if you have an issue with whatever, you can email me 2 weeks before. The deadline is 2 weeks before a show, and I can make that change for you, but you can't manually go into your account and take a show out after this Friday. So right now, what I need you to do in between now and Friday night, before Saturday, go into your account and make sure that you are signed up for the shows that you want to be signed up for, and then I can start working on schedules and get all that good stuff out there. And again, if you have an issue, say Klein High School has to drop out of a show for some reason, you need to email me and we'll get that taken care of. Any questions about that, Jessica, or anything you want to add to that?
I just want to clarify or remind everyone that if you signed up to be in person, you can also select virtual shows, but we just ask that it's not the same weekend so that you're not competing twice in a weekend. So if I'm in person March the 6th, I won't select a virtual March the 6th. But I actually just did this like yesterday. Jaime, you probably saw it. It was like at midnight, but I went back, and so my varsity will submit at the end of the month for virtual, and then that next weekend we're in person, and so it's very distinct, very different.
Yeah, and there is a document about the whole season, right? And when to upload. I really suggest you look at that because it is confusing when you need to video and then when you need to upload and then when the results are posted. So you really need to look at that matrix that's uploaded on the website, because that's going to happen soon. I don't think we'll have another video before our first virtual. Your first video needs to be videoed, but look at that, because I know that could be confusing, and you might find yourself in a different deadline than what you're used to for virtual. Anything on that?
I would just say that if you happen to be a member of our Facebook groups, which we do have, TCGC Eastside, TCGC for Crescent, TCGC West, I did upload that in an album, so you can see those instructions. And at the end of the day, if you just have any confusion, like, reach out to us. It's better to be overly cautious than to be like, oh, I didn't know, and then you're too late. So you cannot submit or upload on your virtual contest day. So February
Right.
27th coming up. I can't turn in that video on the 27th. It has to be during the week before, because the judging and all the process and uploading happens before. So that virtual day is it going live. We want it to be the equivalent of you were stepping into the gym. It's live that day.
Right.
So yeah, with the matrix, I think the most important thing is just highlight the upload day. Everything else will happen on its own, but the upload day is you. So check it out.
Yes, and it's a hard deadline of Tuesday at 10 a.m. that you have to have your stuff uploaded. After that, there's no guarantee, because it's out of my hands. It's all going to Flow Marching, and they are not just doing TCGC. They're working with a number of circuits across the country, including WGI. So they are not going to be able to make those, opening up things for any late uploaders. So please look at that and make sure you are keeping your calendar current to those days aren't going to change. That's all set in stone. Okay, last thing I have is something super exciting, I think, is the senior medals. We're doing that this year. Maybe it'll be a tradition that we continue on, but Jessica, what is a senior medal?
A senior medal is a medal to honor our participants for the 2021 season that will be graduating, especially after, we talk about it a lot, what's been lost this year. And so we wanted to just do something special, since there's not a lot of like hanging out. That's our favorite part of the season, is getting to watch other shows, going and shopping in between shows. And I know in the past there's been a lot of like senior pins, or they can get shirts made, a lot of cool stuff. And we know with the loss of that, that takes a hit. So we wanted to provide something that would be, I think, great memorabilia, and also honor them. So that email already went out with the list. And can you remind me, was that due date this Friday as well?
Yes, that's the last thing that's due Friday. So badges, show selection, or membership, which but pretty much everyone has paid, and senior medal orders. And right now I just looked, we were up to 320 senior medals being ordered. So that's awesome. I know there's probably more units out there, but as soon as I know, how many, Friday's the deadline, so then we get them ordered, and we should have them for our last in-person show. That's the goal. And if you're not at the in-person show, then we'll get them to you. No worries. But yeah, super excited about that, and can't wait till we're back in person and we're having our championships event at Reed Arena next year, 2021 or 2022, and we can recognize our seniors in person, as well as our 40th anniversary, which I'm super excited about also. Before I go, anything else you want to bring up? I think that's everything on my list.
No, I'm really excited because we are starting to talk about the 40th season. I've been promised disco balls, and that we're going full out after this year. And once again, I know there's so much information. That's why we've tried to do these videos, so we can digest a little bit at a time. But I just can't stress enough that if you have a question or nothing's making sense to you, we are here. We want to help you. There's no question that we will leave unanswered if we can get to it. So
yes,
we're pretty good about responding as quick as we can and pointing people in the right direction to who can help them. So please don't think like you can't ask, or it's going to be, a silly question. No, like, we want you to feel good about what you're doing and feel confident going into the season.
Definitely, if you don't hear from us in a day, then your email might have gotten pushed into, we get lots of emails every day. So you might just reply again. But for the most part, we do try to. But we were getting kind of inundated with emails from the competition suite. So anyway, Jessica, thank you so much. Again, we'll see you on February 13th for Symposium. This Friday, 3 big deadlines, and then we'll have another video after Symposium to talk more in details about the season, including all the spectators. Yes, we are having spectators this year, a limited number, and a lot of different things happening with our show part, so that we want to make sure everyone's on board with. So Jessica, thanks. And president at texascolorguardcircuit.org.
Yes.
And of course, you can email me at office@texascolorguardcircuit.org. See you later.